Hello and welcome to Commodity Champions. I'm Manisha Gupta, and the champion clearly has been the cryptocurrencies in this week. The frenzy and the sector that has shown in the week has been unmatched, with record highs created every day of this week. But the Bitcoin has a long history of price increases followed by large drops. That is exactly what we have seen this time around as well. And it usually is the long-term investments which actually have generated revenues. With the media exposure and awareness increasing, there is a surge in people from all walks of life wanting to make use of this surge. But with the regulatory stand not clear, the holding and taxations part are yet in the grey. So while there are hundreds of cryptocurrencies out there, the highest traded is still Bitcoin with nearly 60% market share, followed by Ethereum at 14%, and then of course there are the others. The price run has been for all of them quite phenomenal, and so has been the surge in market cap as well. Bitcoin is holding the top position here as well with nearly $170 billion of a market cap, and the overall market cap for all of the cryptocurrencies has been at $300 billion. So what should you do at these heady levels? Where should you buy? What are the regulatory aspects? Let's get all of that clarity from our guests in the studio today. Joining us right now is Satwik Vishwanath, who is co-founder and CEO at UnoCoin. N.S. Napinai is advocate at Napinai and Company. We also have with us Vishal Gupta, who is CEO at SearchTrade.com. Joining us also is Saurabh Agarwal, CEO and co-founder at ZebPay. Saurabh, hi, let's start with you first. All-time highs in the Bitcoins. We've seen a 900% of a run-up in this year as well. What are you calling it? Is it a bubble or would you call it a fair price?
Hi Manisha. So last when I was with you, I had discussed the same thing, that of course this is, at that time also we had reached our all-time high. And if you look at Bitcoin's history, it started with 1 cent, then it touched $1, $10, $100, $1,000, and now $10,000. So every time it reaches its high, people start saying it's a bubble, people start saying that it's just going to fall. But the point is that more and more people are getting interested in this commodity now. It's just that at 10,000 level, we are seeing more matured investors looking at it, institutional investors looking at it. And now CME, which is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, has just decided to launch Bitcoin futures on 10th of December, because of which the prices have gone from $5,000 to $10,000 in the last 2 months. And I believe that after such institutional investors coming in, we will see prices going north rather than they falling. Of course, in the short term, we will see some corrections. We may see volatility, but in the long run, we are always bullish about this commodity.
Saurabh, when it comes to India, the participation has been increasing from here as well. We understand from exchanges that nearly 5,000 to 8,000 people are registering on a daily basis, right from school-going kids to housewives, etc. How do you look at this euphoria?
So I totally agree that because of the price movements, people are lured. People feel that overnight they can multiply their wealth, which is not the case. So definitely we and you guys should also warn the users that it is highly volatile and they should only invest a kind of money they are okay to lose. They should start to first understand, they should educate themselves. But you are right that every day number of users which are downloading or trying to get on the exchanges is increasing. And I think if you look at a reasonable estimate, about 25,000-30,000 new users are getting into the ecosystem on all the exchanges together. And this number is just multiplying every 2-3 months. And especially students, housewives, millennials, they have started. So basically what is happening is these people, they are looking at alternate investment options. They are not only comfortable with investing in real estates or in gold or in stock markets, but they also like to explore other investment options, and that's where cryptocurrencies come in. They're comfortable with it, and it's a liquid market. So whenever you buy, if you want to sell, you can sell it immediately, or if you want to look at it as a store of value and just put it on hold for long term, it's a decent investment class if you are not trying to risk all your money in it.
Satwik, would you say that with the kind of participation that we have seen come in cryptocurrencies, there is a strong demand and in some sense perhaps an acceptability as well, or would you call it purely speculative?
I think it's not due to acceptability, but pretty much when the world is trying to figure out the price of Bitcoin, So it is just the price discovery itself on one side. On the other side, the demand for Bitcoin has been quite spiking, week over week. At least that's what we have seen all of this November. So if I have to put it in simple words, so there were a lot of investors who wanted Bitcoin to achieve some kind of market capitalization before they started getting in. So these are not the guys who want to enter low and quit when it is high. These are the guys who want to enter when it is high and quit when it is much more higher. So I think now Bitcoin is drawing these investors who have deep pockets, and pretty much that is fueling such kind of bull run.
Well, Satvik, that really is the next point, because while, of course, we have seen investments increase, but on the other side, there has been enough and more big names calling it a bubble, a fraud, and a bull run, perhaps, which is not sustainable, really.
I think it is just a technology to start with, and we are trying to figure out how exactly it can be used and what kind of use cases really exist for it. So when we talk about bubbles, I think we have seen multiple bubbles bursting in Bitcoin, but every time there is a bubble burst, it usually have gone to a next higher level and it have become stabilized. But if we are seeing the bull run right now, I think this kind of bull run probably we haven't really seen in Bitcoin. So it used to be like a couple of days or a week of bull run and then some kind of corrections or some kind of crashes. But this time, week after week, it is going up. So this may be a new trend, I think.
So, Saurabh, what is your sense when it comes to the prices? Let's talk about that yet again, because we understand that the supply is limited with only 21 million Bitcoins that are available to mine. Out of that, 16.7 is already in circulation. So with a limited supply and with the kind of demand surge that we are seeing across markets, would you say that that demand-supply phenomena in textbook terms tells you that the prices are going to rise from here?
So you're absolutely right that the number of Bitcoins that come in the ecosystem is limited. It's about 12.5 Bitcoins coming in today, and after 4 years it will become 6.5 and then 3 and so on. That's the only reason that because there is a limit in the supply and the demand is growing, that's the reason the prices will naturally go up. And also what is happening is, because more and more people are understanding it, because more and more people get aware of it, they want to taste it, they want to have a part of it. And I think it's a good thing to happen. Of course, I don't know what's the right price, whether it's $1,000 or it's $100,000. Nobody knows. I mean, there are a lot of experts who are sitting everywhere and giving their predictions. I can just say that in short term, of course, the prices will be volatile, but in long term, we will see price movements upside.
Saurabh, how would you put the Indian daily volumes? I mean, we have seen a surge there on a week, month-and-month basis as well. How would you put the numbers here? What do they tell you?
So if you compare it with the world, of course, India is very small. I mean, India doesn't provide even 1% of the total volume that we see in the world. So I think on an average, we will be seeing less than 100 crores of volume on all the exchanges together. That's what the Indian market is today. But if you look at month-on-month basis, of course, on between 3 to 4 months, the volumes are doubling. So it used to be maybe few lakh rupees and then few crores, and now it's increased to about 100 crores a day. That's the volume we are doing. And so India is waiting for regulations to come in. India is waiting for some kind of clarity from government, some kind of understanding on how government would like to look at it, whether it's going to be a commodity, whether it's going to be a security. Once we get that clarity, I'm sure a lot of people who are sitting on the fences will like to invest in it. And I think that the prices are moving up and we are all missing the great opportunity to be part of the ecosystem.
Well, that point is well taken, Satvik, but would you say love it or hate it? But everybody really seems to be talking about Bitcoins, cryptocurrencies, the whole blockchain technology, etc., which of course has a far better reach and acceptability than the cryptocurrency itself.
That's right. I mean, I'm way too sure there will be a market correction, because even in the past in Bitcoin as well, that's exactly what has happened. So like I said, usually the market corrections used to happen within a week of bull run, but this time it's much more than a few weeks already. But when it corrects, how much it corrects will be another question. So with this kind of bull run, probably maybe it will just drop by 10 or 20 or 30%. It may not really go back to the levels it used to be, is what it looks like right now.
Ms. Napinai, what would you say? I mean, as we've been talking, that with housewives and college kids and people, the kind of awareness that now seems to be catching up in sense of the digital currencies, with so many people getting in without so much knowledge about on how a Bitcoin is mined and how it is traded, what an e-wallet is perhaps, without really researching all of that, with the kind of money being invested here, would you say that there is a need to sound caution out there?
Yes, in fact, the two circulars that the RBI has issued are effectively cautionary notices, saying, almost akin to a caveat emptor, buyer beware. But if you look at the trend that is happening now, it's twofold, what is happening and what we are seeing on an everyday basis. The first and foremost is trust. If you look at fiat currency, the reason why people would invest or would hold on to currency is on the basis of trust. The sudden surge that I'm seeing with respect to cryptocurrency in general and Bitcoin in particular appears to indicate that suddenly the common populace, as you rightly pointed out, has gained trust in this currency, which is otherwise, ephemeral. The second aspect is confidence. I would have expected, particularly in India, that with there not being certainty with respect to how the government intends to treat cryptocurrency or Bitcoins, the investor or the common investor would be a little cautious before they put in hard-earned income. There was a departmental committee which was formed pursuant to a PIL filed before the Supreme Court. They were to take a decision and file a report. That is still pending. There has been a lot of speculation about how that committee is going to decide with respect to cryptocurrency or Bitcoins. Despite that speculation, it is indeed surprising that the general populace has gained a huge amount of confidence in terms of investing in Bitcoins or cryptocurrency. I would just want to wait and see how India would go if a definitive stand is taken with respect to cryptocurrencies.
All right, gentlemen, stay on with us. Well, that's an interesting conversation that we are having with our experts on Bitcoins and other cryptocurrencies. But after this very short break, we will also touch upon the regulatory aspect of it and how more clarity needs to be on that one as more and more people start investing here.